Vinland Saga, summer 2019 anime, just finished airing. Gunnar, what'd you think?
Oh, man, if you would have asked me that like 3 months ago, I don't think I was even watching it 3 months ago. But if you would have asked me that about 3 months ago, I wasn't on board with it. But now that we're at the end, I almost feel like I wish I could go back, like start over.
Watch it for the first time again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different than what it started.
Oh yeah, it took a whole different turn.
So, little background. This was a series, originally a manga, started in the 2000s. It's still going, actually. Tale about Vikings, revenge, battles,
And more.
a lot more.
So would you say this? Would you say this is historically accurate?
Well, there's a lot of character names and that are based off historical figures. So
Oh, you gotta give them. You gotta give them props for that.
yeah,
Not just making up names, but they're going the extra effort to use actual people.
oh, I'm sure there's a ton of research that went into this.
We should also mention the creators behind this are also famous for
Attack on Titan.
yes,
Which
which is pretty impressive to go from something of
slaying giants to
to Vikings. Just Vikings.
I think they like violent series.
They there's a lot of blood. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're here wondering if you want to watch it. Well, should they watch it, Cory?
Watch it. Watch it.
Would
Go
you?
for it.
Who would you recommend this to, though? You know, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
I would recommend it not to your grandma.
Not
Probably not.
okay. Okay.
If you want something a little different, something that's not like a by the books shonen, something more grounded in reality, something that feels like a big adventure for
That's a good way to
a lot
put
of
it.
character growth. Like one of the best things about it is like the world feels so expansive and so large. Like you can really like kind of put yourself in there with
They keep moving. Like you're never in one place.
yeah.
And
And well, going back to the realism thing, like I think pretty much everything's realistic except this one character who can like throw trees.
he can throw trees and he can throw axes across lakes that chop down masts from ships.
But he is like 10 feet tall, so
It's to be expected.
based on a real person, though.
It is an anime, so there is a little fiction in there. But
All right, so what do you think about the characters and all the different relationships? Because to me, that was one of the more interesting concepts.
it became what I would call my favorite genre, which is the party anime, where you got your main character, which in this case there isn't really a main character per se.
I mean, there's a main character, and then there's like the lead.
Yes.
Who isn't always the same. Like now, you're thinking about Thorfinn and Askeladd, and possibly Thor's in the beginning. I would say Askeladd is the lead, but he's like an anti-hero.
Yeah. He's always up to something. Which the hero, quote unquote, doesn't always agree with.
I'm not even sure if I'd call him a hero. He's Thorfinn, the protagonist.
Yeah,
he's not. I don't think he's a hero, at least not yet.
I guess that's what helps make this different, is because he's not. It's difficult. Like
he's not your conventional like good guy.
Yeah, which means there's a good chance you won't like him, because I didn't like him in the beginning, as you know.
He is hell-bent on revenge, not unlike Eren Yeager from Witch Studio's other hit anime.
Yeah.
But here, it's more grounded in reality because it's one person that he's trying to take revenge on. And it's actually interesting because this person that he wants to take revenge on, he follows him, and he's almost like this weird father figure.
He becomes that. Accidentally, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. At some point, we're going to have to draw the line here so we can get into detail, more exquisite details. So, yeah, I recommend this to people that like action, specifically if you like Attack on Titan. But also, you said adventure. Adventure is really good because it keeps going. And, yeah.
There's a lot of action, but there's also
something realistic, too.
There's a lot of room to breathe. There's some episodes with no action at all, but I think that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, if it was all action, it would be, all action. I guess.
There's a lot of political intrigue too, about the world building and all the countries and the armies and the political figures.
There's more than I thought there would be, which is good. It creates more, what ifs.
Would you call it the anime of the season? Or the year, summer of 2019?
That's a difficult one because JoJo also came out.
I think that's October. That's considered fall 2018.
That's okay. Well, in that case, that yes.
Came out. Okay. For me, it's either that or Demon Slayer, but that's a whole other thing.
That's that's a whole nother. All right. So yeah, you heard it. We both recommend it for various reasons, and you ought to watch it.
And yeah, you gave it a perfect 10, right?
I gave it a perfect 10, which we'll get into right now.
That's a high score. This man does not give out 10s lightly.
I try not to give out 10s because that it needs to be for something groundbreaking that goes above and beyond. So, if you haven't watched it, you ought to stop this now so you don't get spoiled.
Right now.
Right now.
This second.
This minute.
Alright, I hope you stopped watching.
If you didn't, it's not our fault. Okay. What did you think about the ending?
It was way more dramatic than I thought it would be. I was like I said, I was worried that going into this, it would be kind of like an okay ending, because like how do you end this? Like, this is obviously not the end of Thorfinn's story.
No.
So like, how do you end this in the middle of an epic saga? Because the manga goes way beyond this. Like,
yes.
How do you have a satisfying conclusion on this 24th episode? But they did it.
Knowing it was the last episode, you had to assume something was going to happen, but I had no clue the king would die so early.
I didn't think he'd lose his head.
I didn't think he,
Like, in a flash.
dude, he shouldn't have touched him. Shouldn't have said that thing about his mom.
No.
You never talk about
No,
someone's mom like that.
That's not the first time he got angry at the king for saying that.
Dude, he got real angry. But
So,
yeah, like I wouldn't. I don't want to say it came out of nowhere.
it came out of it. It was unexpected, but it was unexpected in a good way.
Yeah, I was
Like-
cool with it all happening. It's just
I mean, at that point, the way the story turned out, Askeladd, he did the best option he could. He couldn't let whales get attacked, but he couldn't do nothing.
he couldn't give up Canute either.
Yeah,
The thing he'd been working so hard towards the entire time. Which is really weird when you think about it. He's been giving up everything. He gave up his army, he gave up all the resources he had. He could have became king if he wanted to. Like, he had the whole world in the palm of his hand.
yeah. In his death, it accomplished the complete transformation of Canute, or the biggest transformation so far. He finally established himself as king, and then Thorfinn. I mean, that dude is just a complete mess.
Oh my god, dude, the look on his face.
I know.
Several times the look on his face. He looked terrified, he looked furious, he looked confused.
Hey, dude, his whole world just vanished because Askeladd was everything to him, basically.
It's really cool to see it that way, because normally, you know, someone react. You'd react that way if someone you really liked died right in front of you, not if someone you really hated died right in front of you.
And that's the interesting thing, is because he did have a weird attachment to him, more than just his hatred. Because obviously he hated him, but I think there was something else there too.
It's weird to think about
He raised him. He really did.
for quite a while.
What was it, 10 years or something?
I think that was it.
I think that's what Leif Erikson said.
Do you think that
Yeah,
guy will get a happy
bad.
ending?
I hope so. I felt bad when, well, he pulled some food out for him. I forgot what it was.
He got jerky.
He's
He
like,
was
"You want some?" Yeah, dude. I bet it would have tasted really good. I'd take some.
You want some jerky? Then he looks up and Thorfinn's gone. He starts panicking.
So what made him decide to check out the royal hall?
Who? Oh,
Thorfinn. Like, he just.
oh,
like, he was with.
I think it was. He was like, at that jeez Louise, at that moment, he couldn't like think properly
Yeah.
because he saw that bird, and that was like, you know, I think that was like a
Oh, yeah.
symbolism of freedom, because he was finally getting away from Askeladd. And then, you know, he got close enough to hear the sword fighting in there with the mosh pit.
I think he was supposed to be there anyway, and then he got thrown in jail.
Yeah,
So-
because he well, first off, he didn't even make it in the first place, because let's face it, he lost.
Oh yeah, he got a beat down.
He got the beatdown of a century. What was that,
And then,
the episode
and then he
before?
ran into some thugs in town, and he got beat up.
Yeah, those
and
guys were trying to
He
pick
got
on
beat up
him.
again. But the real ending, I think, was after Thorfinn sees Askeladd dead and he gets dragged away by Canute's guards. He drops the dagger, which is honestly, like, not even talking about the montage thing and the reflection, but even just dropping the dagger itself was an amazing piece of symbolism, because it's like, him letting go of his revenge because he can't even take it anymore if he wanted to.
That
And
alone,
obviously,
that
the
alone
dagger.
was
Yeah, the reflections. Then that was just like the, the icing on top.
once the music started to come out. I knew it was getting dramatic, and then the
Yeah.
pictures started to appear on the reflection of the dagger, and then at that
It felt like
I was just like, oh my goodness.
It almost felt like I watched the whole series again in like 5 seconds.
It showed everything. Like, it wasn't until that moment I realized how long. Like, 24 episodes is long. I wouldn't call it like
it's longer
massive.
And the crazy thing is, this is just the prologue of the entire story.
That blew my mind.
That's the title episode.
That blew my mind when you told me it was called the prologue.
Now, when I hear prologue, I would have thought like
him,
like Thor dying.
Yeah,
was the prologue.
And when he survives on the boat that's being dragged behind them, and he's like living back there.
Now, the one thing, as someone who has not read the manga yet, at the very end they show those characters, like at least like 2 or 3 new characters.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them, but the way the music was playing, it makes it seem like they might be good guys.
I think they're all going to be drastically important.
I would certainly hope so, and assume so. So I can't wait for season 2, which is rumored to come out next year, which is weird to say because now at the time of this recording it's January 1st, 2020, so that really means 2021.
That's good though. I'm glad it's not going to be never or like 5 years from now either.
Well, you never know. I mean, they took like what, like 4 years to get Attack on Titan season 2.
That's true. I shouldn't jinx it now.
Yeah, I'd say that was worth the wait, but that's another thing again.
So, you wanted my number.
Yeah.
Not my phone number. You wanted my rating.
You don't have a phone.
And since we're operating on a scale of 1 to 10, which is usually, the typical scale, what would you tell the audience is yours?
I think I'd give it a 9.
Okay.
And if you ask me why it wasn't a perfect 10,
which is fine. It doesn't everything doesn't have to be a 10.
Yeah. There was like, in my opinion, there was like a little bit of baggage here and there. Like, not everything flowed as smoothly as it could have in terms of progression.
There were some dull moments which you're gonna have in an adventure.
Yeah, but part of some of those dull moments, though, not what I'm referring to, but it's all about the world building and like showing all these little details, like random villagers in town. Like, that stuff's really cool.
Like that really big lady?
Yeah. Sure.
Did you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about.
They were like way back in the beginning, I think.
Yeah, Escalade was talking with the governor or something of some place, and there were like a bunch of never mind.
I think we get each other's points, but it's like basically perfect. It's like super close.
I'm probably jumping the gun.
It's just hard for me to give anything a 10.
If you asked me any other time, I might say a different number, but I thought the conclusion was the best conclusion so far I've ever seen.
It was really good. I mean that episode was definitely a 10.
Oh,
But
yeah,
to rate the whole series as a 10 for me personally is a little bit of a jump.
yeah. I don't mind that. That's you can't see me shaking my head, but I am in agreement.
Gotcha.
Uh, Going forward now, we need to look towards the future. What do you see happening? Like, for sure, for sure, we know those three characters are going to do something. But other than that, Canute's king, Thorfinn's getting dragged away. What's next?
I'm hoping that. Well, first of all, I anticipate a time skip. I could be
Another?
wrong. Yeah,
How many years?
I don't know, like 3 or 4, maybe, like a decent chunk. But what I'm hoping happens in the end, regardless, is that Thorfinn does go with Leif Erikson and go back to Iceland, or at least somewhere with him, because he's got no one else. He's only got Leif, and he doesn't know anyone else
He's got Canute.
in that entire country.
No, he doesn't have Canute
He tried
anymore.
to kill him. The guards would kill him if he went near him again. I mean, I don't see him, I don't see them bringing that character back, Leif Erikson, and then Thorfinn not going with him.
So you think episode 1 of season 2 is going to kick off and he's with him somewhere?
Yeah, like he's sailing on the ship somewhere, going back to Iceland, or he's helping him with something.
Do you think he's ever going to see his mother or sister again?
As far as I know, they're still alive, right?
Okay, yeah, they should be. Yeah, he was talking about him to him.
For some reason, I feel like his mom got sick or something, but I don't.
She was
remember, to be
sick
honest.
in the beginning.
Okay, I really hope I'm not wrong on that, because that would be embarrassing.
We only give authentic facts here.
That's true. We're not. There's no scripts here.
It's right off the top of our heads.
It's as real as it gets.
You can't find it any more original
Anywhere
than this.
All right. So, what do you think's gonna happen?
I've got
Am I in the ballpark? Do you think?
yes. I'd say that's a second base hit. I've got for me, I've got Harold coming. I think Harold's gonna do something.
Canute's brother.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think they're gonna be. They have to be rivals if he's his
Now
brother.
the question. Yeah, but if he well, he's the Canute's the king now.
Canute's the king now.
So that'll be hard to question that. I mean, for such an important plot point of Canute wanting, for King Sweyn wanting to assassinate Canute, I do think they should show Harold at some point, but they might not anymore, considering that's kind of over.
He is.
Because I forgot where Harold was supposed to be.
I don't.
Because he was like fighting a battle somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
But the question is, if it is about Harold, like I wonder how Thorfinn would be involved.
Yeah.
in
How
that.
will he be involved in that is the important
He
thing.
might be? Yeah.
He has to be because it's his
Yes. It's
his story now.
His story from solely transforming from a edgy, bloodthirsty kid to a true warrior like his father.
I think it's about time too.
Yes, that is actually one of the little nitpicks I had. Just going back briefly, like
It was a
it did get
relief.
old.
It was a relief to hear you finally get tired of it after I complained about it several times.
Yeah. It was a relief when Escalade beat the shit out of him
Oh
in
my
like episode, what was it, episode 22 or something?
I will never forget that.
Like, not because I don't like Thorfinn, but
It
because
was, it
him
was,
finally understanding that, like,
it was a well-deserved beatdown. Like you hate to see it, but like it was a spoiled kid finally getting like what he asked for. He wanted the duel,
yeah,
and he gave it to him after his best friend died.
dude, even Askeladd was tired of
He's like,
it.
"You
I mean,
you
imagine
want a
how
duel?
he's been he's been dealing with it for 10 years,
Duel me,
and he
duel me."
finally he almost killed him too. Like, he
Well,
was
yeah,
probably
the prince told him to stop.
yeah,
I love how he
but
threw down his
yeah,
sword before that too. He's like, "I don't need a sword to beat you."
I know, because he was coming at
He
it
came
because
at him
Thorfinn
with a
was coming at
knife.
him. Yeah, like his arm was like taped together
He's just
with a piece of wood.
that was a really
But
desperate attempt.
yeah, so Thorfinn finally gets some character development, some very big character development in the final moments.
Through what might be the series' most important death.
Oh, definitely. And going forward from here, I'm really interested to see what's next.
What happens for Thorkel?
Well, I guess he hangs out with Canute.
Does he just fade into the background now?
That probably depends on how important the Danish army is going to be.
I wonder.
So
Yeah,
that's iffy.
where will they go next? Like, as far as they're not fighting Wales, and
They said
they were gonna go to
there might
Ireland, but
there might be an insurrection. They said with the land they conquered.
oh, that's right. Yeah, it
But
was like the
that-
English are rebelling or something.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I feel like they'd get squashed if they even tried.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Thorkel takes down entire armies by himself.
Dude, what if Thorkel left again?
Thorkel,
he switched sides.
he does the double, triple cross. I could see it. Or maybe no. I don't know. We'll have to see. So yeah, I think that's a good estimate of it from beginning to end. You got what it's about, what we think, and if you should watch it. I mean, if you should watch it, you shouldn't be here right now. But that's yeah.
We hope that you didn't make it this far without watching it.
If you did, you're doing yourself
But,
a
I mean,
disfavor.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I was trying to think of a catchphrase, but I can't. I can't think of any good catchphrases. I can just all I can think is when I think of a catchphrase, I think of Askeladd's face. That's it.
Just his angry face.
His angry face looking at you.
Well, no one really had any. I don't think anyone really had any catchphrases in this show.
Besides Leif Erikson saying Vinland.
That works.
Vinland! Not Finland.
Vinland.
Finland. Will they,
Yes, they will make it to Vinland.
Okay.
One day.
That's what I was gonna ask.
We haven't even seen Vinland yet, and it's called Vinland Saga. So this is going to be one big saga.
We'll see you back here in 2027 for Vinland
Probably.
Part 5.